your questions, your worries, your concerns, your critiques as usual. So we look forward to an exciting show.
Also in the studio, you know, one and only, I have Donnelly Shiverton. Let's move it.
Good morning. Good morning to the general public. And before we get into any further of the program, I just want to ask God's blessing on this proceeding. Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for today. We want to thank you for continued blessings. We want to thank you for June 24th, 2020. We know, dear God, that we are not here because of the good that we have done, but because of your goodness, your love, and your mercies towards us. And for that, we are eternally grateful. Dear Lord, even when we doubt ourselves, you have always believed in us, and we will continue to give you thanks. We want you to bless our program this morning, guide our tongue, fill our hearts. Bless each and every individual of our Blessed Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Continue to bless my colleagues as we journey through this pandemic, through these difficult times. Guide our journey, guide our path. Be our leader. These mercies we ask in your name and no other name. Amen.
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 Now, before we get into the meat of the discussion, a lot is on the table for this morning. Last week we indicated that we're going to touch base on the roundabouts. Yeah. But before we get into that, I know you have a number of issues that you want to highlight before we get into the program. So based on the time this morning, with your permission, I'm hoping that we can go the extra mile this morning so that we can get all the information in without rushing and making the information obscured, if I can put it that way. So over to you, lady, and gents.
Definitely that is the reason why we have the entourage, you see, so as we could disseminate things faster.
Right.
If I could butt in on that, we have a project, Mr. GQ, that we have to attend to at 9 o'clock. What happened is that there is a loader machine, a heavy, very heavy equipment. I'm not certain if you would have seen it.
Yes.
It's on the bypass road.
Yes.
And it's in a very difficult area. What happened is that on Sunday morning, we were trying to get it moved to New Guinea. But along the way, the engine burnt out and they changed the battery and everything, but just couldn't get it started.
Okay.
And so this morning, just before we got here, Mr. Warden Herbert, who is the person responsible, he said that at 9 o'clock, we're going to move it from where it is down to the old factory building. And so that would need some manpower from the traffic department, because we would have to block the area of the F.T. Williams for that period. So we would have already said to him that we're going to be on the radio until 9 o'clock, and so after that we would come and assist in making sure that the traffic flows and everything is in order.
All right, so you're sticking to your commitments.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Now, I would have already spoken about the machine, so I don't have to bring that up again. I want to speak to driver's test. I just want the general public to know that our driver's test is back in full force, and so we are now at the police training school. For some weeks we were at the community center at St. Johnson's Village, but we are now back at the police training school, and our sessions are the first 3 Wednesdays and the last Saturday of every month. The first 3 Wednesdays and the last Saturday of every month. The traffic department, in following the social and physical distancing, we're trying to put certain things in place. And to this end, we would have added to our VRS system, which is our vehicular and registration system, we have added a new feature where instead of the examining officers coming to the traffic department to clog themselves or to overcrowd the department, we are introducing a new segment where you can stay in the comfort of your home and register your students. So you no longer have to come to the traffic department to register. What they used to do, they used to come in, bring their names, and so with the officers, sometimes they're so overwhelmed with work, we would take the paper and just put it away, and then at the end of the day we can't find it or looking for it. But that is well and over with now. So Thursday evening at 6:30 p.m. at the police training school, there will be a meeting with all the instructors guide them through this new process that we are starting.
Okay.
We still want to continue to lobby with the general public where it comes to the market area. Mr. GQ, I work on the market area on Saturday, and it's amazing how persons are still driving through the no entry, and they're saying to you, oh, I didn't see it, oh, it's on the, you have to bring it more in the road. It's a one-way traveling west, which means that if you're coming through here in St. Kitts, you drive on the left-hand side of the road. Now, if you're coming through and you divert from the side that is directly in front of you, it means you're traveling on the opposite side of the road, which is the right side. And right away, you should tell you something should click, because why am I on the right side of the road? But the sign is right there, and so we're asking the general public to please bear with us, and it is for the good of the general public, so persons have an opportunity on Saturday mornings between 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. to park their vehicles on the mountain side of the market, where you can go and peacefully and without any stress of wondering if you're going to get a ticket. You can park just right there, and you can go in the market, do your shopping, take your time, say hello to a friend without worrying about when I go outside the officer is going to give me a ticket. So it is for all of us. It is for the police officers, and it is for you, the general public. So please, we ask you to continue to work with us as we go through this time. The ferry terminal is still undergoing its construction, and so Saturday morning again, Mr. GQ, I gave 2 tickets to persons. There is a no right turn as you come out of the terminal, and persons are still turning right. Please to abide by the signage. Please, the signage is there for all of us. I mean, what if when you turn right, you cause an accident? And these are the things we have to look at. Moving along, the traffic department would have this morning saw a sign down under the tree that's on the Law Westbourne that area, Mr. Brown?
Just opposite Kersick's residence, where the guys normally do the tinting of vehicles.
Westbourne Gut?
Yes, Westbourne Gut, yeah. What we have seen there is some person would have cordon off that area there. You know, there's a small area where vehicles can, if you're coming from Greenlands, you can take a diversion out onto the road that leads up into Dorset.
Right.
But what we have realized this morning, we got a number of calls that some person would have put some signage or cordon off that area so no vehicle or pedestrians can walk there. We at the department have no knowledge as to who or why these signs would have been placed there. So we are presently looking into it. And before I finish, touching back down on the ferry terminal, pedestrians and vehicular traffic, persons traversing the Bay Road would realize that if you're traveling from the Rams supermarket area, there's a diversion where you would have to turn right onto College Street Gut. Okay, you cannot continue going straight along the Bay Road. The reason for that is that the persons they are doing who are working on the bus terminal, what they have done is put out some scaffolding on the outer section of the terminal. So if traffic were to allow to continue going straight along that strip of road on the Bay Road, just in front of the terminal, there would be some form of congestion. Our persons would be at risk. So we have thought it best to have vehicles or traffic turn right along College Street Gut. Whether you can continue going straight along College Street Gut, or you can take a right onto Liverpool Road. So we just want persons to bear that in mind. And from information I would have received this morning, that would be done like that for the remaining part of the week. So persons just be aware of that.
Okay.
Yeah, I also want to remind the general public about the road coming from New Road. That is the road coming along from New Road. When you're traversing in that area, you have a roundabout way down at Fort Williams, FT Williams Highway.
Yes.
Just yesterday, I saw a vehicle, literally saw a vehicle coming up on that one-way road, and I had to stop that person. Yes,
wow.
JQ.
Wow.
You look amazed.
Yeah.
By sight with my eyes.
Okay.
I had to stop the person actually, you know. I spoke to them for roughly about 10 minutes. He asked me why I was so angry, you know what I'm saying? I said, it could have been your child coming down in the next vehicle and you're coming up and you collide with a vehicle and your child dies. You understand me? I said, this is very serious. After he understood that, he said, boy, this is grave. I didn't know, you know, I'm from this side of the country. I didn't know, I really didn't know. But honestly, I wanted to say, I have to go and speak to the engineers, Mr. Williams at Public Works, because I think them signs got to be a little bigger. I guess they're too small. You understand me? Just the other day we was talking about eye test. Ain't everybody got the same visibility. You understand me? Your visibility might be much better than mine.
Right.
You understand me? So we have to look at the objective test now. Alright? So I just want to remind persons that it's a one-way. The one-way coming down. You're coming traversing from New Road, coming down the airport side, you know what I mean? And you take a right, you come down. You take a left, sorry. You take a left, come down to on that little piece of road, a little vein that was open. Coming from, what you call it, the gas station. Using the gas station as a prime example. Coming heading west, you cannot traverse on that road going up. There is a one-way. You cannot go up. And he has a sign there. Maybe the sign is too small. So the reason why you see I will actually be an advocate to get the sign bigger. You know what I mean? I think it should be at least 5 feet broad so people could actually see it. Next thing, in the gas stations, I noticed some anomalies happening at the gas station. And I also want to read something coming from the Vehicle and Road Traffic Act 15.06. And in Regulation 23 it states, put in petrol in motor vehicle. And it states, any person who put petrol into any receptacle and adjacent to any motor vehicle, into the tank of a motor vehicle while the engine is running, while any light other than the electric light is a light in the vehicle, and any person who smokes, lights a match, expose the naked light in close proximity while petrol is being so filled, commits an offense under this regulation. Also, I want to talk about tires. I see a number of tires smooth like, you know what I mean, a ball, a football, you know. So I want to go to Regulation 23 and it talk about tires in subsection 1. Sub-regulation 1, all tires of a motor vehicle shall at all times be maintained in such condition as to be free from any defect, which might in any way cause damage to the surface of the road or danger to person in or on the vehicle or to any person using the road, provided that a person shall not be convicted under this regulation if he or she prove to the satisfaction of the court that he or she could not be reasonably diligent, have become aware of the defect. Subsection 2, any pneumatic tire from which all the rubber has been worn on any section of the outer surface of the tire, whether such surface bears on the road or not, shall be deemed to be defective, and it shall be an offense to use such tire on any vehicle. So I just want to appeal to the general public. I want the general public to check your tires. I see in subsection 1, sub-regulation 1, speaking about reasonable diligence. But don't tell me a rubber don't just, a tire just don't rub down in a day. You see what I'm saying? So definitely, you know, you have to use the objective test here. Yeah.
Talking about rules, and I'm looking at the time, and I'm realizing that we won't have enough time to take any calls this morning because we're going to touch base on the roundabouts. But before we do, you made mention of the traffic law just now. What does the traffic law says about parking at various institutions like supermarkets and stuff like that? I was given an example in terms of the law, so you just have a proper idea where I'm coming from, where In most parking lots, you can park however you feel like, but they're saying it should be back in instead of driving in forward. And if in the case someone is reversing and you're behind that person, it's by law that you should wait until that person reverse properly and move forward instead of ignoring that person reversing and passing them. Is there a law that stipulates to those issues?
Well, honestly, I haven't never seen. I have to do my research when it comes to that. But when it comes to parking, it must be reasonable. The best parking is when you reverse. You reverse in. So when you're any emergency, in case of any emergency at all, you know what I mean. You have ample time. You know what I mean, and you could actually, you know, maneuverability. You know what I mean, process, you could actually move out, and everybody could see each other when they're moving out. You understand me?
Right.
Now you reversing and somebody facing you and you're hitting on the person. So I don't know if you have ever seen a law when it comes to parking.
What I can say to that is that we, over the past period, we are having a number of accidents, just as the inspector would have explained, a number of accidents at various supermarkets parking lots. And most of what we have realized is that these accidents are caused by persons not wanting to wait. Persons, they are hurrying up on their actions and they are not waiting for that person or persons to properly execute their maneuver coming out of their parking space. So we just appealing to persons just to pay close attention to when you're entering a parking zone, a parking lot. Look at personal vehicles to see if they're exiting out of their parking lane, and you make your proper maneuvers.
All right, and you said, Inspector, that you'll follow up on that to see if there's a law?
Definitely, I have to follow up on that.
Okay, thank you.
Do my research.
We have about 6 minutes. I'm not sure how you're going to do this.
It's sad that nobody could have actually called in, you know. I mean,
you want to take at least one call?
Somebody might have something grave outside to actually disseminate to.
All right then. So should we bypass on the roundabout issues?
I don't think we can touch it. We can touch it for a few minutes, Mr. GQ.
Yes.
Put on your headphones. Let's take this call. Hi. Good morning.
GQ, good morning. This is Sugar.
Yes, morning, Sugar.
And let me say good morning to the officers that met out here. I'll make it sharp because the officer called out something there that you shouldn't be at the gas station when you're taking gas. But he leave out one thing. And the one thing that he leave out, you're supposed to be on your cell phone. Okay, all the best to you.
All the best to you too, man.
Thanks, sir. Yeah, it is that in the regulations, but definitely when I say regulation in terms of this, putting in petrol in motor vehicles, I've read it from the subsection in the regulations. Actually, this is something that is the reason why I like to hear callers calling, because this is something that can be recommended. And this is something that actually can go to Parliament.
Yes.
You understand, make it made into law.
Yes.
You understand me?
Yes.
Given royal assent by the Governor General. Thanks.
Yes. All right, so let's take this next call. Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Am I on?
Yes, you are. Go ahead.
I just want to say good morning, Donnelly. Love you.
Good morning. I love you too.
You know who it is?
Not yet.
Oh, Donnelly, come on. Leave the voice.
Okay. Connery, I can't. You and your husband have the same name.
Well, I don't want to interrupt the reunion, but we're pressed for time. We're pressed for time. We're pressed for time. Can you make your point, please?
Bye, Donnelly. Love you.
Bye.
Oh, okay, man. Hi, good morning. Good morning, you're live.
Yes, good morning. Now, in relation, good morning to all those present. In relation to this gas thing, I was in Barbados in 2017 in a passenger bus, and when the bus pulled into the gas station, the driver asked everybody to come out. Have you ever considered that?
I think that is reasonable, to be honest.
Yes, in Barbados. I was a bit surprised. The things I look, I can't put in any gas until everybody come out.
Is better than cure.
Yes, but have you ever thought about it?
Well, I have never thought about it, and that is the reason say it is imperative to hear from the public. You understand me? That we could put actually things in place.
Yeah, because if any fire broke out, at least you could run.
Yes.
Yes.
All right then.
All right, man. Still this next call. Hi, good morning, you're live.
Good morning.
Yes, morning.
I would like to address something, and people are taking this lightly. There's a number of people outside here who are not taking the emergency vehicles seriously, and they're going to get hurt and cause other people to get hurt. Just Monday night, I don't know the reason why a lady didn't get licked up by a fire truck close by the traffic light there in Bastille. And people are playing around with it. I have my number 10 close by the traffic there, and people need to stop. When they hear the siren, draw aside and give the people the room to pass. We're playing around too much. We need to get serious. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, let's take this next call. Hi, good morning, you're live.
Good morning. Everybody knows what me. Chicken, don't pick up the voice.
Yes, Dumpling. Move ahead, Dumpling, my girl. Go ahead.
Mr. Eddie?
Yes, ma'am.
You said the right thing, coming down from up Monkey Hill.
Yes.
The other day, I coming down the same road, like the up to the back of the airport.
Yes.
And this man coming up in the star car, I tell the bus man I have to lie down in the bus. Because if he coming in there, he knows he's supposed to come, and he's from Monkey Hill. He knows that they're supposed to just drive down, not drive up.
He definitely has knowledge, yes.
You understand? And Donnelly, you can't find me down there in the week. You can find me in a Friday and Saturday.
Okay, because
I
went to look for you.
Yes, you don't see me down here.
Okay.
Since the government shut down, I be shut down selling really drinks then. So you don't see me like till a Friday and Saturday. And I like when you say, when you're on here, so you live free.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks much, ma'am.
All right, let's Donald, you want to say something?
Yes, I think that we can start. We can even for about 2-3 minutes to speak about the roundabout.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. We're going to take the roundabout. Let's use the roundabout from Connery, coming from Keon, because you and I and Mr. Brown had a discussion in the studio after the last week program. And so some persons are still not aware when it comes to using a roundabout. Even we as officers, sometimes I will be traveling behind, whether it's an officer or whether it's a bus, and persons would take a lane that is not in the section or the area where they want to go. If you're coming from Connery or Keon area, they're using the airport roundabout, and you want to go to the F.T. Williams Highway, you must stay in the right lane. The rules of the roundabout are, if you're traveling left or straight, you're going to stay in the left lane or on the outer. If you're traveling around the roundabout, or if you're traveling right of the roundabout, you're going to stay in the right lane or you're going to stay on the inner.
That is, we use F.T. Williams Highway. F.T. Williams Highway.
If you're coming from F.T. Williams Highway and you want to go to Keon, you're going to stay on the left lane because you're going to Keon. So you're going to be in the left. If you want to go to Kim Collins, you can't see that going straight. So you're going to stay
in the left lane.
In the left lane.
You keep on the left.
Exactly.
Because of how the roundabout is positioned.
Yes.
Definitely.
That's the key thing that was missing.
Yes.
Because people are not paying attention to how the roundabout is positioned.
Yes. And so you as an individual, you as a driver, once you take the wrong lane in a roundabout, it confuses the person who is behind of you. And these are the reasons why we have these accidents in the roundabout. And so we have to pay attention. If you're coming from the F.T. Williams Highway and you're traveling to the roundabout that is next to the gas station, if you want to go into Bastille, you're going to stay left. If you want to continue on the F.T. Williams Highway, you're going to stay left. If you're going to go around the roundabout, you're going to stay right. Or on the inner.
If you want to go back,
you're going to stay on the right lane.
Right.
If you're traveling on the Shadwell roundabout, if you want to go into Greenlands, if you're coming from the F.T. Williams Highway,
use Gillard as a point mark.
Gillard, from Gillard gas station,
heading west.
You're going to use the left lane because you're going to Greenlands or you're going to continue. Right, continue on the highway. Yeah. If you're going to St. Peter's or if you're going around the roundabout, you're going to stay in the right lane.
Okay.
And so for us, you have to sometimes you're driving and you get carried away. You might be listening to some music, or you might be speaking to someone else in the vehicle with you, or some of us take chances and be on our cell phone, which is not the right thing to do. And so you get carried away, and so you miss your lane. When we travel in the States and we miss a lane, you know what we have to do. You have to go all the way back. Right.
For the turnpike.
Turnpike.
Exactly. So here we do the same thing. If you miss your turn, you have to do the correct thing. You can't just switch because you feel like, oh, I missed the lane and oh, I'm in small thinkings, so let me just do what I want. No, because be mindful that there are persons traveling behind of you and they are looking to see your intention, to see where you plan to go. Because sometimes it throws off the person behind of you. So
last point before we wrap up. Coming from St. Peter's now, I've seen a lot of accidents from that end.
If you're coming from St. Peter's and you want to go into town or you want to go to Gillard's gas station, you're going to stay in the left lane.
What about going behind?
If you're going to Greenland, you're going to stay in the left lane.
Okay, great.
Yes, you have to stay in the left lane because you're on the left.
Right.
And that is considered going straight.
Because of how the roundabout is situated.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, he's showing you, right there, it's a common sense effect. You understand me?
I hear you, but some people the accidents report says otherwise. I'm
sorry,
sir.
Yes, it says otherwise. We have a lot of accidents that happens in the roundabout.
Yes,
and that's because some persons don't want to wait. And when you get into a roundabout and sometimes it all depends on who gets into the roundabout first, depending on where you're traveling. Both of you travel in the same area, and one get into the roundabout, before the other, then just give the person the right away.
What I've seen happening up here, by this roundabout at Shadowell, FD William area, 2 individuals will be in the stop, and both individuals going behind into Greenlands. So the one in the left lane is in the right lane, and the one in the right lane is in the wrong lane. But the one in the right lane will then maneuver over and we head down. And I've seen accidents happen like that many times.
And that is incorrect.
Yes.
Yes, that is incorrect.
We are out of time. I know you have to go up on the FT William Highway that we were talking about to get that truck sorted out. I want to thank you guys for being here this morning. Thanks to all the viewers online who are watching. Thanks to those of you who are listening. 9 o'clock report is up next. Until next time.
Well, definitely I want to say thank you also GQ. Thank you for the PRO. Miss Kimberly to be here. Miss Sergeant Brown to be also, not forgetting Donnelly. Definitely, the entourage out again, so, and I want to just appeal to, not appeal, I don't want to appeal to nobody. I just want to sensitize the public that will be at the roundabouts looking on what's going on and all the anomalies and who taking, wrong lane and right lane and so forth. You understand me? So that we could get something in the database going. All right, thanks a lot.
Thank you. I am Officer Donnelly Liebert Shiverton. Do you want to travel and don't have private transportation? Here are some travel safety tips to keep yourself and the persons around you safe from the coronavirus. When venturing out in public, it is recommended that you wear a mask at all times. Sanitize your hands before and after entering public transportation. The bus operators are also encouraged to sanitize their buses after each trip. Remember, always practice good respiratory hygiene. That means refraining from touching your face with unwashed hands. Always practice physical distancing. To maintain physical distance, the government of St. Kitts and Nevis stipulates that only 2 passengers are allowed per row. That is, 1 passenger on each end of the bus row, while 1 passenger is allowed to sit up front with the driver. This means that only 9 passengers are allowed in a passenger bus. Remember, stay safe, travel wisely as we work together to flatten the curve.